I do want to make it clear that all of my grievances will have nothing to do with the inclusion of Chloe being in the game, and I just mainly want to talk about my grievances with the actual story and characters of itself. So I just got finished playing Life is Strange Double Exposure, and I left it feeling a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple things that I thought could have been a lot better with the game, and I made a very thick list of what I had kind of problems with, and I kind of just want to go over it. I kind of just wanted to express my thoughts and my disappointment with the game. Like I said before, none of this is gonna have anything to do with Chloe or any characters that were included or not included from the past game. The first issue that kind of bothered me is that Max is apparently a teacher in this game, who yet we have not seen her teach a class in the entirety of the game. The only thing we know is that she teaches photography, and she has two students that we see in the game, which are Diamond and Reggie. You could say that's unimportant, but two of the characters in that final circle of the game are supposedly in her class. And the only real reference that you see of her actually being a teacher is a group chat that randomly pops up around episode 4. I feel like there could have been a good callback to when Mr. Jefferson was teaching classes and how Max teaches her classes. I feel like that would have been nice to see, especially when in the first game, you go back to the classroom a good bit throughout those episodes. I feel like the cast in this game is very unimportant. I feel like you barely interact with any of the side characters. The side characters also doesn't have any importance to the story at all. I feel like the love interests are whack. Amanda, when Safi died, got the ick while, Max was grieving. In the next world, she likes Max because, Max didn't go through that grieving process or whatever. So that felt weird to me, because why would you want to romance someone who obviously, if you were at your lowest, that wouldn't be there for you, especially when you just kind of started engaging in that romantic interaction. My friend dies and she comes up to me and I want to use her as like emotional support, and she hits me with the I'm not ready to deal with all that. But in this living timeline, she's like down for me. So I just want to make things as crystal clear as possible, and I don't want to mistake alternate timelines of doing stuff and not doing stuff. So Amanda, proceed to get the fuck away from me.
I'm really sorry, Amanda. I don't think I can.
Second love interest, Vin, who firstly slept with my best friend and also threw a cow head through her window. So why would that be a thing? And they also threw a random love thing with Vin and Reggie that I didn't realize till the end when I was looking through my choices at the final episode. So this is very weird. I felt like the living world became a lot more important than the dead world towards the end, which sucked a lot because I feel like a lot of the interesting things that were happening were in the dead world. For instance, the side characters seeing different versions of themselves walking around, which is really weird because you have Safi that can apparently transform as different people, and also at the same time they're seeing the different timelines at the same time, which is also a little complicated. You would think there would have been more interesting things with the detective and seeing the different versions of himself and interacting with himself and dying, and there was literally it wasn't brought up at all after the fact. So basically all of these characters have no scenes that flesh them out, and these characters have maybe a max of 2 scenes across all 5 episodes. I felt like there could have been a lot more done with the dead world in the merging realities instead of them just having 2 memories. What I kind of want to do is go over the character connections in Life is Strange 1 and do the same thing with Life is Strange Double Exposure, just so you can kind of get an idea of how I feel structurally with the story. And unfortunately, I have to compare this game with Life is Strange 1, which is considered probably the best Life is Strange game, but this is a direct sequel to Life is Strange 1, so you kind of have to compare the two. So I'm gonna start off with the big bad of Life is Strange 1, which is Mr. Jefferson. Max, Victoria, and Kate have the same class with Mr. Jefferson, which we've seen in game. Victoria also picks on Kate later throughout the story, and Kate ends up later being connected with Mr. Jefferson. Warren, friend of Max, gets beaten up by Nathan. Nathan is friends with Victoria, later is connected with Mr. Jefferson. Chloe is an old friend of Max, doesn't have any connections with any of the other characters besides Frank. And David. Frank deals drugs to Chloe, Nathan, and other people around the school. David, stepdad to Chloe and security guard of the school, so he interacts with the students. There's a dead girl named Rachel who has a relationship with Frank and Chloe. So from all those characters, they are all connected with one another. And you see it throughout the game, and you get information about how they act and how they operate and their behaviors throughout all of Life is Strange 1. Life is Strange Double Exposure. Safi, daughter of the principal, was friends with Vin at one point and only interacted with him one time in the game, by the way. Loretta, who I want to say I thought was going to be more important to the story, apparently not. She only had 2 semi-important scenes. She's just a podcast person, and then after those 2 scenes, she just becomes irrelevant. Amanda, love interest, no value to the story at all, also not connected to any of the other characters besides Max. Don't think she's interacted with any of the other ones either. Vin is a love interest as well, terrible love interest, like I said before. He is an assistant to the principal, who I've never seen them interact in the game at all. Gwen also works at the school. The only person she's ever interacted with besides Max was Loretta. Diamond is connected to Reggie and has Max as a teacher. And also Reggie, who is connected to Diamond and has a class with Max. We never see Max teach a class or anything. It's just kind of stated hand-offishly. And also Reggie is connected to Vin, which is kind of just shown, I want to say, towards the last 2 episodes. And you have Moses, who is connected to Max and Safi, and there's one scene with him and Diamond. Also, you have Lucas, who talks about Safi and mentions that Safi hates him, but besides that doesn't interact with anyone else in the main cast besides Vin and Safi during the roast. And then also the dead girl had a connection with Safi, Vin, and Lucas. If you want to talk about like big bad Safi, you want to talk about how apparently Yasmin, the principal, Gwen, Vin, and Lucas all contributed to getting her book canceled and also shaded her dead friend. We've never seen all 4 of them interact with each other at all. It's like they all apparently got manipulated separately and never talked at all about it. Basically what I'm trying to get at is that the story structure for this game is very lacking. All of these characters barely have a connection to any of the characters in the story, and none of the characters contribute to the story besides maybe Moses. I feel like it would have been more impactful if you would have seen the side characters having to deal with the fact that worlds are actively colliding and they're seeing different versions of themselves, and Max has to help them, or just more interactions which we could learn more about the characters themselves, because there's not much you learn about any of the characters besides Diamond maybe has a crush on Moses and Reggie likes Vin, I guess. I feel like you can cut half of these characters out of the game and the story would progress like normal. But I hope I was able to convey all my thoughts that I wanted to talk about. The story is just not there, and especially the ending where Safi is putting together the X-Men or whatever. Is this just a way for them to get all the main characters from the other games and make like a big thing? I'm not sure. I want to know what your thoughts are about the game and your grievances about it. I feel like my biggest issue was obviously just how the story was structured. I feel like there was a lot of things that could have been better with the story that just wasn't. In my opinion, story-wise, I do feel like the story kind of fits better if you did sacrifice Chloe. In my opinion, that's just me throwing it out there. It works a lot with the themes of not using your powers, letting things be, moving forward with your life. That's just me in my honest opinion. That's just kind of what I think. Let me know what you think. We are at 360 subscribers. If you want to watch my playthrough of the game, you can check my Twitch, or you can look at the live feature on my channel. I should have a playlist of it pretty soon. Also, I am making a video game. If you want to critique me like I've been critiquing a shit ton of games, you can. It's called Undead Wonderland. You can download it on itch.io. It's a pre-alpha build. I'm actively building on it, so if you wanted to check that out and give me feedback and make your own my issues with video, you can go ahead. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.